One of the biggest career risks you'll ever face isn't poor performance, it's standing still without even realizing it. In this video, I'm going to show you the steps you need to take to supercharge your personal development and how to use AI to support you in doing that. Plus, how to balance the more traditional human-centered development approaches that can help you go further, faster. If you want practical ways to put this into action, I've created a free AI guide for managers. It's linked below, and I'll tell you more about it at the end. First, let's talk about the elephant in the room, why most development plans fail, AI or no AI. Most people have a development plan because their organisation often requires it of them. But what I see again and again is that these plans don't lead to real change. You see, there's a big gap between knowing what you should do and actually doing it, especially when it comes to leadership skills. Think of it like planning a journey. You need to know the destination, the route to get there. You need to have regular check-ins to stay on track. You may need to ask people for directions if you get stuck or lost, and ideally someone waiting for you at the end to celebrate when you get there. But what usually happens? You get lost in the day-to-day. You prioritize urgent work that comes along over your own important growth. You forget to ask for help. You don't find time to stop and reflect. And then suddenly 6 months has gone past and there is no real progress. And this is why you need a system. Because when it comes to leadership, which is rooted in people skills, communication, and strategic thinking, growth happens in the daily actions. And there are so many opportunities for you to practice and think about this week in, week out, if you can spot them. I call these micro practice moments. They're small opportunities to try something new, to ask for feedback, or to lead differently. But if your plan isn't front of mind, you'll miss them. A great personal development plan system has 4 parts. First, you need to get clear on your goal. And by this, I mean super clear, not vague aspirations of what you would like to get better at, but describing what success looks like for you in your role. I would recommend just 1 development focus per quarter. I think it's enough and increases your chances of moving to action, applying, and moving forward. Next, you need to create a quarter plan. Break that goal into small, clear actions. What do you need to do in the first 30 days, then the next 30 days, and then the final 30 days? This is what turns the aspiration and the goal into a doable plan. Thirdly, schedule a little time each week for reflection, just 10 or 15 minutes. You need to ask yourself 3 questions to find out what you've learned and what you need to focus on next. So first ask what went well, what could have gone better, and importantly, why? And then what do you need to practice or try differently in the next week? Look at your diary, spot those micro practice moments, and make a note. Finally, you need to find your supporters. Who are they? Who are the people who will give you feedback, challenge your thinking, and help you stay accountable when possibly your motivation dips? When you know who they are, you're going to connect with them so that they can actually help you. Without this system, your development plan can be just static statements. But for leadership growth, it lives in the doing, not in writing a plan. If that's the system, where can AI help? AI's number 1 value in your development isn't doing the plan for you. It's helping you think better. It helps you get clearer on your goal, uncover assumptions you didn't know you were making, and it adds nuance, depth, and confidence to your plan. But here's the thing, you can't just ask it, what should my development plan be? You'll just get a flat, generic answer. The art of getting real value from AI lies in how you set it up to answer you. I use the CRUSE framework. Let me talk you through how the prompting would work. So you would start off by saying, I would like you to help me create my personal development plan. And then you need to share context. You need to explain exactly where you are, what your role is, what your aspirations are, what are the specific skills or challenges that you're facing that you want to focus on improving. Now, you can share information here and upload your job roles and responsibilities, your current development plan, your objectives. You want to give it as much context as you possibly can. If you've done an Enneagram or an Insights Discovery, any behavioral or personality-led assessment, upload that. The more information, the better, to help it really understand the situation. Next, you want to tell it what it is you want it to do. So ask it to play a specific role, like being a coach or a mentor, with a deep understanding of your function or your industry. The third step is the understanding check. So this is where you're going to invite the AI to ask you questions to deepen its understanding before answering. So say the prompt might be, ask me 3 to 5 questions to deepen your understanding before answering. Finally, tell it the style you want it in. So this helps it choose the tone. So do you want it practical, conversational? Can you give me step-by-step plan and an example? So any formats or structures that you would like the development plan to come in. That may be you upload a blank development plan format. Here's a quick example of what that might sound like. I'm a team manager in marketing with 10 years experience, looking to improve how I manage up. Act as a leadership coach who understands influence and stakeholder dynamics. Ask me 3 to 5 questions to get clarity before you give advice. Give me practical weekly actions and structure it as a 12-week plan. Now, when I'm doing this, I use voice mode a lot. So, for example, when I answered the questions when I did it in the understanding step, I used my voice memo. I just sat and chatted away. I also did my aspirations and my goals all on voice because I just paused and had a good old think about it and then swapped the transcription in. You can do that straight into ChatGPT or into Claude and on voice mode. I just find sometimes it glitches out when you're halfway through, which is very frustrating. This chat and this two-way conversation, I think is so powerful. And when I've done this, every time I think I know what I want, I found AI adds new depth every single time. I used this approach recently when I was stuck on a piece of personal development, and I asked ChatGPT, challenge me. What might be holding me back from achieving X? And it then went and asked me some more very thought-provoking questions, which I answered honestly. And the response it gave me back was genuinely eye-opening. It laid out my own thinking so clearly that I could actually now see what perhaps I had been avoiding. And that's the kind of thing AI can do so well. It reflects you back, and that clarity is where the growth really starts in building your plan. Now, once you've surfaced the real blockers and opportunities, then yes, AI can help you sketch out a practical plan. But it's still your job to take that plan and turn it into action. AI is there to support your thinking, not replace it. Now, am I worried AI is going to take my job as a coach? No, not even slightly. Because here's what AI can't do. It can't see your body language. It can't notice the tension in your voice. It can't watch you do something and then give you feedback on it. It can't follow up and check in with you in the way in which a good coach does. It can't connect to your lived experience and say, yeah, I've been there too. And it might sound like it cares, but it doesn't. When I was exploring my own blockers, I commented that I liked the fact that ChatGPT was bigging me up. And then I suddenly thought, I asked it, how are you programmed in order to do this? And it explained how it had been designed at its core. It explained how it had been programmed to support people with warmth and encouragement, especially in situations where they might be struggling with self-doubt. It uses patterns from what you say to reflect strengths and help you see options. And that can feel very powerful. But make no mistake, it's trained to sound like it cares. It doesn't feel what you feel. But, and this is important, what AI is actually giving you is just information. It can't empathize in the way that a human can. It hasn't sat where you're sitting. It hasn't tried, failed, and grown. It is people who will give you encouragement empathy and belief. And in my own career, the moments that have changed me most came when another human really saw me, supported me, and challenged me. I got further than I thought I could. So here's what I believe. You need a toolbox. Sometimes that's self-driven development with the help of AI. Sometimes that's chatting with your peers and your manager and getting real support. And sometimes it's a great coach who helps you accelerate on a skill set that you've been working on. And the more that you use a system to keep your personal development front of mind and then use the tools available to you, the faster you will develop and learn. Because at the end of the day, AI will give you great information, but only people will make you feel absolutely brilliant. And if this video's helped, here's what I want you to do next. Download the AI guide for managers. It's full of prompts and examples to help you get started safely and smartly. And then if you want to go deeper into the systems behind this, I'd check out my full video on how to build your own manager operating system. I'll link it right here. This is where the real shift happens, when systems and thinking come together. So I'll see you there.